Doughty for the Voice of Boxing with Eddie Hearn. Eddie, I did want to grab hold of you yesterday, but you sloped off just like that.
I had to go to a meeting, yeah, sorry. I was very late for the meeting, but...
No problem. I will say, you make yourself very available, like no promoter I've ever known for the fans, which is great, you know.
Well, actually, it's what got us to this position.
Yeah.
Was being accessible.
You understand this new media very well.
To be honest with you, I would like to turn off social media and never listen to another comment from a fan giving me stick.
Yes.
But if I did that on the way up to get to where I was, if I turned around and turned my back on them now and said, I ain't going to do that anymore, then I'd be a bit of a fraud. So we have to keep doing what got us here.
In any case, I want to show some of these blogsters how to do a succinct interview at a weigh-in. Let's talk about the show. Main event, Charlie Edwards versus Angel Marino. People will see it as a routine defence, relatively.
I'm not so sure, actually. I think every fight between two world-class fighters at this weight class, or in this weight class, is always competitive and is always very interesting. One thing that's actually surprised me, and you heard it today, I looked at the ticket manifest today. He has sold over 200 tickets, Marino, from Spain.
You could tell he was well supported today.
Yeah, but that's shocking. I would expect 10, 15. But when Sergio Garcia boxed Cheeseman, he had about 200 come as well. And what that shows me is, one, they're here to win, but two, actually the growth of boxing in Spain, which is for another interview. But
it is, yeah. Boxing boys might want to do that one.
If you look at Spain, you know, and if you look at likes of Laranja and people like that, 8,000 people go to watch him in Bilbao. And the fact that 200 have flown for Marino and 200 have flown for Garcia, like Charlie wouldn't take 200 to Barcelona to fight this guy.
Comparison.
So, you know, I think he's going to have great support. They're definitely here to win, and I think it's going to be a really competitive fight.
Talking of support, how big a star ultimately can you make a flyweight with the best will in the world?
Well, it's hard work because they don't have the instant appeal of a heavyweight or a guy with a bigger weight, but he does have instant appeal in his story and in his personality and what he stands for. So 10 years ago or 5 years ago, I would have said, wow, this is hard work. Now you actually have to look at the divisions and the guys that are making major money and hitting decent numbers. Rung Visai, who's also with us, he's fighting Estrada at the Forum. We're going to do like 8,000 or 9,000. Cal Yafai up at super flyweight. So I think, I don't think Charlie Edwards is going to become a box office fighter, but you know, we're going to have 5,000 in the Copper Box on Saturday. Yeah. People are starting to enjoy his story, and he's a British world champion, so I think people should get behind him.
For me, the most interesting fight is probably Camacho Okolie, with a little bit of personal feeling, and you know, the guy on a new wave of success, having been thought to have been written off against the young lion. How do you feel about that fight?
I think it's going to be a rough fight for Waddy. I mean, we did a lot of fights with Waddy, and he's a very nice man who's actually improved a lot, got a great team of people around him. I just think that Cody's very dangerous, and I know that we've seen a couple of performances against Chamberlain and Askin that weren't as explosive, but I just think he's improving, he's learning how to fight on the inside, and I know people sometimes complain about him holding. If I was a fighter, I'd want him to hold, because I wouldn't want him to box at distance, because he's got the longest arms and probably the heaviest hands, or one of the heaviest sets of hands in the division. So Waddy's got to be very careful, he's got to use his experience, but I don't know how Waddy stays out of the way of getting hit, and I think when he gets hit by Okolie, he's gonna get hurt.
And finally, there was an interesting appearance by one Dylan Whyte's brother yesterday to try and have a mediatory kind of chat with Lawrence, because he said Dylan will be there and he will confront him. He said he's going to, and he's a man of his word. Are you anticipating or looking forward to any kind of colourful incidents?
I'm not looking forward to it. I mean, but Dylan, he's right. Dylan will do what he wants to do. And Dylan's one of those guys where he don't really let it go. Like most people would have that beef, and then the next morning go, oh shit, what am I? Like you'd look at it and go, like, I'm number one in heavyweight rankings, and he's a British cruiserweight champion. Why am I even getting involved? But he can't help himself. So like everyone's coming on to me now saying, are you going to make Whyte Okolie? I'm like, no. That's not even in the mindset.
Have you sometimes been accused of promoting these kind of very modern day beefs and scuffles?
They probably think, oh well, Eddie Hearn, he's behind that. Like, no, you don't. Ben, you've been around boxing long enough to know that for a fighter, you don't say to a fighter, go and stick it on him. Like that.
Will you shove him at this particular moment,
because,
please?
One, they're going to do it themselves. You don't have to do that kind of stuff because they're ready to fight at all times. They're those kind of characters. So, listen, I like it because as a promoter, beef is great and hype is great. But you don't say to fight, oh, yeah, Lawrence, call him out and say that. Like, ultimately, people keep saying to me, are you going to make this fight? No. One wants to fight for the World Heavyweight Champion. One, I believe, will fight for the Cruiserweight World Championship. So let him do that. By the way, I do think Lawrence will be a heavyweight one day.
Think so?
Yeah, he's too big. I mean, he could easily weigh 15.5 stone to fight at heavyweight now without even putting any, just not bringing his weight down. So he will be a 16 stone plus heavyweight at some stage. He's just got to build his legs up a little bit.
Well, we look forward to see how it all pans out. As you said, never been a better time to be a boxing fan, a fighter, or probably a promoter.
Not sure about the last bit, but... You know.
But Eddie Hearn, thank you as always for making yourself available. Good luck tomorrow night.
Cheers, thank you.